All right, we're going to look at the derivative of e to the x now. You can see this is true based on our inverse properties. And now I take the derivative of both sides of this to give me this. Right side is a 1, and this side I just indicate, which I'll do now in this step. Derivative of the e to the x divided by the e to the x. That's our log rule for differentiation. Solve this for the derivative of e to the x, which is this side, equals e to the x. If you have a function, e to the u of x, you simply use the chain rule and multiply e to the u of x times u prime. Okay, now let's look at how this works in a couple of examples here. This one here, y prime, we need an e to the 4x plus 1 times a 4, which you can write as 4e to the 4x plus a 1. This one here, it's a product, so you'll need the product rule. F prime will be 1 e to the x squared plus x times 2x e to the x squared. And if you want, you can factor that out and write it like so. On this one, can't tell ahead of time, but after a while you start to recognize some of these things. This one, before we differentiate, you can write this as e to the x minus 1 times an e to the x plus 1 over e to the x plus 1. So that cancels. This is my function, f of x is really just e to the x minus 1. Okay, and of course this would only be good, well, this denominator would never be 0, so this is good for all x. F prime, e to the x, that's it, that's all it is. Okay, so that was the fast way. The other way that you could try it is if you didn't notice this, then you would have to differentiate the numerator. So f prime would be a 2 e to the 2x times the denominator minus the derivative of the denominator times the numerator, all divided by e to the x plus 1 squared. Okay, and then that becomes, let's see what we can factor out. We can get an e to the x out of there up in the numerator. And we still have to see that there is e to the x times an e to the x plus 1, and then minus, don't forget that 2, and minus, let's see, we just have I'm going to factor this e to the 2x. This would be e to the x plus 1 times an e to the x minus 1. Okay, with parentheses around that, all divided by e to the x plus 1 squared. Okay, I cut to the chase here. I differentiate, I simplified this, I factored out again, and eventually end up with e to the x. But the first method was way easier. Second method, doable, but a little bit long. A lot of algebra in there. Okay,